Hey, welcome everybody. Happy Thanksgiving from Memphis, Tennessee. I'm Matt Duckworth.
I'm Charlie Duckworth.
This is Duck Duck Hoops. Quack quack.
Episode 2, baby. So it's been a big week for college basketball. It's been feast week. So do you want to hop right into talking about some of the games this week?
Yeah, let's go. There's been a lot of action. Let's get into
So let's get into the games of today, the final scores that have happened right now. So looking at the scores from today, you have a big upset in that top game up there. TCU beating the national champs Florida 84-80. That's a big deal coming into this latter stage of non-conference play.
Yeah, Florida's looked a little shaky this year so far, but I did not see them losing to TCU. That's for sure. Looked like a big game for Jace Posey with 21 points. I mean, Thomas Howell dropped 20 for Florida, but that's not the greatest loss. That's not the greatest loss for Florida. I mean, TCU is not the most well-respected team in that conference, so that's a pretty big upset.
Yeah, and then also you see the big ranked versus ranked, one of the only ranked versus ranks of today. Michigan State at UNC. I believe that game was in San Diego. MSU took the game 74-58 against UNC. A UNC team that has kind of surprised me this year. I thought they wouldn't be like that. And, I mean, this is their first loss of the year, and it's to a very, very good squad that Tom Izzo has.
Yeah, I had the Tar Heels just outside of my top 10 last week. I still think they've got a pretty good team there, but I think Coach Izzo has something real special. I mean, he's coming off a couple big victories. Who was it that they beat?
They beat Kentucky, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
yes,
they did. They beat Kentucky. Izzo, in my opinion, is definitely one of the top 3 or 4 coaches in the nation, and he's probably top 10.
I'd say top 5 all time.
I mean, you can make the argument. The guy is just a great basketball coach, and despite what his roster looks like, they always figure out a way to win. They're scoring a little more points than they usually do, and I mean, they could be a dangerous team coming down the stretch.
I mean, absolutely, they could be a dangerous team, and also one that's not on here from whenever I took the screenshot, but BYU, AJ Dibansa and crew beat Miami 72-62.
Yeah, man.
Earlier.
There's a reason he's projected to be one of the top 3 picks in the NBA draft. He may end up going number 1. And BYU's got a little squad out there this year. I'd like to see them play a little bit more talented teams, which they've got some big games coming up.
Yeah.
But that's a nice win for them. They keep on trucking.
You know how much they trust this team in Utah right now?
How much?
They have stopped starting in April. Every Saturday they usually do a big prayer, right?
Mm-hmm.
In April, but they aren't doing it next year because think about it. What's the first weekend of April?
Ooh.
That's Final Four weekend. So they have some belief that Dibansa and crew can make it at least to that last weekend.
I mean, anything's possible. Of course, when you get to March, anything's possible. When you've got a top flight player like he is, that's projected to be a NBA, not just a average NBA player. I mean, we're talking about a top pick in one of the deepest drafts from the last few years. So it's possible. Good for BYU, a football program that has had some success in the past, but a basketball program that you haven't really heard a lot of noise from. So it's good to see.
And then you see also here both the players there, I believe it was the 6th and 8th place games were played today. Oregon at Creighton. Creighton takes that one 76-66, and Creighton is just such a weird team to me. I can't tell how good they are, if they're bad, if they're good, if they're obviously Big East Conference play. Anything could happen. They could go undefeated in Big East Conference play, and this could be irrelevant in the future. But right now, it just kind of feels like even though this win against Oregon, they just don't seem like the normal Creighton team that you would see in these last few years.
Well, they lost a couple of good players from last year's squad. They shoot a lot of the 3, so it's kind of one of those live and die by the 3 teams. I don't take too much from this, but they definitely looked up and down. They did not have the best players there.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see if they can get it going in Big East Conference play.
Then also UNLV at Rutgers, a UNLV team that we've mentioned way too many times in these first two episodes, but for decent enough reasons. They obviously lose this game to Rutgers by 15, but I feel like UNLV has something there that they have the coach more than likely. I don't know how much they have the system for where the players can perform under, though.
Well, we'll see. Obviously a proud program from back when I was a kid. Coach Pastner, I mean, I don't think he's a bad coach. I don't. Do I think he's
amazing, like world leader,
like a really good coach? No, not really. He was definitely not the greatest fit in Memphis. But what he did do in Memphis was win. He won a lot. He made some tournaments. One of his biggest things was, I never lose 3 games in a row. I think now they have actually.
Yeah, I believe they did.
Yeah, but regardless of that, we'll see. He's a really good guy from all accounts. So we'll see. I believe that the NIL is pretty good out there in Vegas.
Oh, it's definitely.
So we'll see. I don't necessarily think you're going to see a lot of noise from them this year, but old Coach Dreamy might have a little something going on in the future.
Yeah, and out of all these games, besides the 2 in Atlanta's VCU at Vandy and St. Mary's at Virginia Tech that we'll go into later, do you want to highlight any of these early performances so far?
No, not really. You know what I want to talk about from the players there.
Oh, I know what you want to talk about. Do we want to get into a full players era summary?
Well, the one thing we want to talk, there was a lot of really good teams in the players era, and I think most of my picks ended up coming out right.
I believe so.
And one that I really liked is Michigan. They were number 5 in my power rankings, and they end up winning the whole thing. And, I mean, the proof's in the pudding. You look at what they did there. Demolished San Diego State. Demolished Utah. And then demolished Gonzaga, who came out and beat Alabama, if I'm correct.
Yeah, they did.
And I think that Gonzaga team's good. I think Coach May's got a really good squad there in Michigan.
I mean, Yaxel Lindenborg is a different beast. I mean, he was great at UAB, but now since he has that national spotlight, it feels like on him, and the team is fully built around him, and he has a coach that has. I mean, let's be real. Dusty May has been there before. I mean, Final Four coach a couple of years ago with FAU in that Cinderella run. So this is a team that very all that matters is when you get into this later non-conference schedule, and then especially the Big Ten, quite possibly the best conference in college basketball, them or the SEC. Mm-hmm. It's a war out there. You got to see, like Kentucky last year. I mean, they were great, and then they kind of the conference plan slipped a little bit for a sec.
That's true. It will be interesting to see what the Wolverines do in conference play. I still think that they are probably, in my opinion, the best team in the Big Ten, but I think Illinois could also stake a claim to that. I think Michigan State's got a rightful claim to that as too. It'll be interesting to see how it all shakes out. But I think Coach May is ahead of schedule there. And as you know, with Michigan football, it doesn't matter. Now that we're in the NIL era, there is plenty of money up there.
Yeah.
And
and they got some rich alumni up there too. Let's not forget.
You could not have had more of a dominant weekend, or week, I should say. I think it was super impressive, and to beat down, throw San Diego State out the window, but to beat down Auburn, who had been playing some pretty good basketball, and Gonzaga the way they did, and they're a tough team, and we'll talk about them a little later when it comes to the top 10 rankings.
Yeah, and Michigan, I think this is the best possible players era that you could have had. The best dream that you could have had for a players era.
For sure.
Because let's really think about this. In a weird sort of tournament, not tournament, where that point differential is the thing that matters.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you win your two, I guess we could call it group stage type games, it would be, a 40 and a 30. So that's a 70 point differential there. Plus, I don't even want to do that. 196 points scored.
Mm-hmm.
That's the two things that the players there use as tiebreakers you can see why they made the finals pretty easily.
Coach Bay at FAU had teams that put up points, and nothing's changed. And now that he's at Michigan, they're a scary team. They really are.
Yeah, and then just to get into some other games of the Players era, you had Gonzaga beating Alabama 95-85 on Monday. You had Houston going down to the wire with a Syracuse team that the next day kind of got handled by Kansas. I mean, there's some trouble, I'd say, in Houston.
I'm still high on Coach Sampson and his team. I just think that this is kind of the way they play ball. They play you in the 60s and the 70s for the most part. A lot of shots did not fall for them. They had a rough game against Syracuse, but came out with the win. Then, of course, turned around, lost to the Vols at Tennessee. I think it's a very good ball club as well.
They kind of surprised me in that game.
That was a back and forth game. Houston really, it was very close throughout. Houston had the lead most of the first half. Tennessee comes back, kind of gets that lead in the second half, and Houston was able to claw it down. But at the end, it turned into a free throw shooting contest, and Tennessee hit their shots. I'm not worried about Coach Sampson's team. In fact, I still think that they're the best team from the Big 12, and I think that they will end up being either a 1 or 2 come around March.
You know who's also in the Big 12?
Who's that?
Arizona.
Well, you just got me in one. I forget about all this conference. I'm an old timer, folks. I think of Arizona, and I think of the Pac-12. So, second best team.
We got to put it.
I really do though think that Coach Sampson, he gets better as the year goes on. That defense is tough, and you talked about the Big 10 and the SEC. The Big 12's pretty stacked as well, man. And you got TCU getting a big win today. I don't know if that's going to pan out and they be any better. Kansas has looked really competitive to me, even without their star player on the court for a few games. Iowa State is a very solid team. I really think that the Big 12 can make some noise this year. Those 3 conferences to me are by far the premier.
The cream of the crop.
Yeah, I think so.
You mentioned Iowa State, and this is something I wanted to talk to you about with just the Players era as a whole. Iowa State played 2 games in their group stage. They beat St. John's 83-82, and then the next day they beat Creighton 78-60, but they didn't even get a 3rd place game or a 4th place game. They just were not even really even the 6th or the 8th place game either. They just were in this weird limbo spot. And I think that it's hard to say that you're for the players, like the Players era claims, and then not allow the players to play that obviously earned it. I mean, those were 2 decent wins, especially that St. John's one.
Yeah, that was a big win for them, and I'll talk about a little bit about the Cyclones later as well. And when it comes to the top 10, they're undefeated right now, and they've got a lot of momentum. They've got some really good scorers on that team. This Players era is kind of set up a little weird. I do like seeing the best teams in the nation play against each other, and there were some of the best ones in there. So, maybe a few tweaks to it would be nice, but all in all, it's been a great feast week so far. You want to talk about any of the other tournaments before we move on to next week?
Yeah, we got a bracket right here. This is the bracket of the Maui Invitational this year. So USC, the first time ever that they win the Maui, and there's a lot of our predictions that kind of went up in smoke.
Sure.
Quick. I mean, you were high on this Texas team. I would think you might have had Texas going to the finals.
Yeah.
Man, they got bounced out first round.
Yeah.
And were the 5th place. I thought Seton Hall was going to get blown out by NC State because NC State has Will Wade. They have all this talent. They're 23rd in the nation. And then Seton Hall, I mean, great coach team. You know who's the coach of Seton Hall?
I know.
Shaheen Holloway. He was the coach of St. Peter's.
When they made their run a couple years ago.
Yeah, he was a Seton Hall alumni. That's the job that he took after St. Peter's. So they have a coach who, you could say like Dusty May, has been there on the big stages. Yeah. Or the bigger stages with Dusty May,
sure.
But still.
For sure. That St. Peter's squad was so fun. It was an interesting tournament. It did not shake out the way either one of us thought.
It did with Chaminade.
If nothing else, we have that. I do think that It's an impressive run from USC. We'll see where they line out. With them being in the Big Ten now, it'd be interesting to see if maybe they can make some noise. I don't read too much into it. I still think that the best team in this tournament was Texas. I still do. I think that will be proven later on. But it's kind of interesting to see how it ended up shaking out. Texas did end up getting fifth place. They
beat NC State.
They did, who I think is also a pretty quality squad. It was kind of interesting to see you. You were kind of telling me about how you thought Washington State may make some noise. They ended up getting fourth place in the tournament.
Yeah.
All in all, I don't see anybody from this tournament that's going to be making a deep run in March, but maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt Musselman and the Trojans over at USC. I mean, before the Atlanta tournament, something that happened the night that we were doing our last show, USC versus Troy, 3 overtimes and a buzzer beater for USC in a game that Troy had in their hands so many times. It was like the San Diego State game they won a couple of days ago, or the days before that I mentioned on the show last week, where they had it in their hands, and then San Diego State just came back, and I think San Diego State won that game against Troy too. And so it's like, it's a little wild to think about Troy having to play 5 overtimes in a 3-day span.
Yeah, that team's ready to go home and eat some turkey and get some rest. But all in all, I think, like I said, I didn't see any of the big teams that I see here making any noise. Still was a quality little tournament. Anything else you want to do for Feast Week, Charlie?
Yeah, let's talk about Atlantis, too.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have a graphic for Atlantis. I'm sorry, folks. But I have the bracket right here beside me. So, in that, the finals have been set after today's results. Let me pull those back up. Vanderbilt, the number 24 team in the nation, a decent team. I know we both said that they had some good talent. They're probably going to make the finals.
Absolutely.
We'll play St. Mary's after St. Mary's beats Virginia Tech. And that's the finals that I believe both of us said that it would be.
Yeah.
At the end, or no, I think you said Colorado State.
I did have Colorado State. I did have Vandy as my winner, though. And, I think that's going to be an interesting ball game. I'm looking forward to see how that shakes out. Vandy plays my Memphis Tigers coming up here soon. So, it'd be interesting to see how that ends up shaking out. That game's tonight, is it not?
I believe it's tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
I believe it's tomorrow morning.
Okay.
But, I mean, St. Mary's, this is a team I'm so high on in the West Coast Conference.
You are.
I mean, let's just say Gonzaga kind of has a little slump for a sec after this Michigan game. Who knows what St. Mary's can do, how much space that they can make up in this spot of being the team of the West Coast Conference, being that name that people think of when they think of the West Coast Conference in Gonzaga's last year.
Well, it's always kind of been Gonzaga and St. Mary's. And St. Mary's has always been kind of little brother to Gonzaga. So it would be interesting to see how that shakes out. I do think I'm going to stick with who I think. I think Vandy ends up winning this tournament. I think they've got a good squad. They've got some culture that's been building there over the years. And I look for them to be one of the many teams from the SEC that's going to be a tough squad when it comes March.
Yeah, I mean, the SEC is just such a stacked conference.
It is. It really is.
When you have your 24th team in the nation playing in the finals, and then you have a team in Texas that some people were high on this year playing in the 5th place, but people are still, or the 5th place game in Maui, but there's still a lot of people that are big believers in this Texas team. I mean, you right here are a big believer in this
I think they're a good squad. From top to bottom, I mean, my alma mater, I think the Ole Miss is a talented basketball team. Chris Beard has really got that program going in the right direction. Mississippi State, which I know they took a loss this week, I think they're a talented ball club. They'll also be playing my Memphis Tigers coming up soon. What was it? 13 teams from the SEC, I believe, in the tournament last year.
I believe.
So. I don't know that they'll get 13 again in this year.
I don't.
But I promise you, they'll be double digits.
Yeah,
that is how good that conference is. Always known for being a football powerhouse. Now, kind of becoming a basketball powerhouse as well. So
yeah, I know Ole Miss lost last night as well off of some free throws at the end of the game against Utah. It's been a sort of rough going in these past few days for Ole Miss. They lost the first game. I'm trying to remember what they're in this year, but I know that they lost to Iowa 74-69 and then lost to Utah. But I mean, they're still a team to be high on. They have some great wins or some great scores.
Man, the Frenchman, I forget his name. He is a absolute scoring beast.
Is it Tyrese Halliburton's lookalike?
It is. I don't even want to try to pronounce it.
Are you sure you don't want to pronounce that?
Elias Kamardine. It's what we're going to call it. I don't know if that's right or not.
Elias Kamardine.
For y'all that are out there wondering why do I not support Ole Miss basketball, I do. I did graduate from there, but I grew up a Memphis Tiger fan. So when it comes to basketball, it's just they're always going to be my number one. But I do think that Coach Beard is a great coach. I know he's had some, stuff there.
some skeletons in his
I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of good coaches do. I mean, I can think of the coach up there at St. John's had plenty of skeletons in his closet. I can think of the guy in Arkansas does too. What they consistently do is win, and I think from top to bottom, the SEC is a very stout conference. Excuse me, tonight. Coach Cal, speaking of him earlier, he takes on Duke. I think
that game just tipped off on our multi-view. So do we want to get a quick prediction on what you see or what you think out of these two teams playing in the United Center in Chicago?
I think that it's going to end up being a close ball game. I think Duke's going to end up pulling out the win, but I would not be shocked. Coach Cal, when it comes to coaching big games, he is a beast. Let us not forget he took UMass to the Final Four. He took Memphis to the final game. He ended up winning a natty.
Yeah, what happened in that final game for Memphis?
Man, I don't know. Here's where I'm at with Memphis. We at least beat SIU. I attended the game. I sat in what I like to call Martinville. Shout out to Brad. Shout out to Brandon. Shout out to Coach. All the Martin family. They're a family I've known from here in Memphis. Have season tickets down there. Great atmosphere hanging out with them. Memphis pulls the victory. It's going to be interesting to see moving forward. The schedule is fixing to get a lot tougher. They play New Orleans, which is actually a pretty quality squad. And then after that,
they beat LSU earlier this year.
They did. And after that, you've got Louisville, Baylor, Vanderbilt, Mississippi State. We're going to find out what Penny and them are made of. But look, I don't want to go deep into Memphis dive, but I'm glad that at least they got a victory. I will say this about them. They played Purdue hard. They lost from a buzzer beater to Wake Forest. It's probably quieting some of the talk here in town down, but one last thing I will say, if you are an old school fan of Memphis basketball like me and you happen to be in the city of Memphis, get your butts to the game because it was embarrassing, the crowd that last night. It was so small. I hate to see that, and just get your butts out there and support the squad. I'm going to get off my soapbox now.
So do we want to talk about next week's games?
Yeah. It's Thanksgiving night. We don't want to keep everybody too long. Everybody's getting finna pass out from the turkey. A lot of them are watching football and basketball. Or ham. You're correct.
Yeah, or cranberry sauce. Or dressing.
I tell you what, I eat my fair share of dressing. Shout out to Nikki who cooked a great Thanksgiving today. I'm sure me and Charlie will be on that turkey here shortly again. Let's talk about it because there are some big games coming up next week.
Yeah, you got the paper, so lead us away here.
All right, we're going to start off with UConn Huskies. Dan Hurley and the squad go and they play the Fighting Illini of Illinois. Is that a neutral site game, Charlie?
That is in Madison Square Garden, 11:30 Central Time tomorrow.
MSG. We've actually got a spread on this game, and if I'm correct, didn't you tell me UConn was -1.5 favorites?
UConn -1.5.
Okay.
Now the line just changed to -2.5. As we're doing the show, the line
got a little movement out there in Vegas. These are two squads that I'm high on this year. They were both in my top 10 last week. When you talk about Illinois, you've got Stojakovic, you've got some really good scorers on that team. When you got UConn, I don't know if I can't think of the guy's name that's injured, if he's going to play tomorrow or not. Regardless, I think it's going to be a clash of two teams that are going to be really good going down the stretch. And gonna go. I know it's way more of a closer home game for UConn. I'm actually gonna pick the Fighting Illini to win that ball game tomorrow.
You're gonna take the fighting Italians or the fighting Europeans?
That's kind of what they are right now. But shout out to them for for getting good players there.
I mean,
I'm high. I'm really high on Page's son. I think he is a very good ball player. I think they've got a lot of scores. Give me the Fighting Illini to win this ball game by about 4 points.
And then the next game, I think. Okay, look.
What's your pick for this game?
Yeah,
Charlie?
I forgot. Let me not jump too early. Let me not jump the gun here. I'm thinking it's a tough one because you have a UConn team that's Solo Ball and Alex Caravan, right? Two very, very solid players, right?
Sure.
But how deep are they? I think Illinois, something that they have is they are deep.
Yeah, they've got.
They are a deep team, and so I think when you start getting into the first four, last four,
yep.
They talk about the last 4 minutes of the first half, the first 4 minutes of the second are the most important. That's usually when you have a couple of those bench players in.
That's
so
good. Yeah.
When you have these bench guys in, I think Illinois has an advantage, and I think that they can go ahead and beat UConn tomorrow. I think I would take Illinois plus 2.5.
All right, so we're both taking Illinois. We're going to mark these down, and as most fathers and sons do, we're going to gloat about who's right and who's wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So the next one we got up, this is a really good matchup of two of the blue bloods of college basketball. We've got the Tar Heels of North Carolina coming into Rupp Arena to take on the Kentucky Wildcats.
This one is a big deal. There's no spread on this game. It's the ACC-SEC Challenge next week. So you already know that most of our games that we're going to talk about, the big ones, are ACC-SEC games. I believe the SEC took 13 last year against the ACC, and that was the record. But I don't think that's going to happen this time. Give me the Tar Heels.
Oh, wow.
Rupp Arena. Give me the Tar Heels.
Oh, wow. Like I said, two of the most storied franchises in college basketball history. Two franchises that have so many national titles, so proud. I do think that UNC is a really quality ball club. They are coming off a loss, so they're going to be hungry. But me and you we have a difference of opinion here.
We do.
I like Mark Pope's squad to get the W. I think they're going to defend the home court. Give me Kentucky by 4 points.
Oh, okay. So the next game that we have on the slate, it's Florida at Duke. Another ACC-SEC game. I take it away because I got the first pick last time.
Okay.
Take it away.
We don't know what Duke's going to be doing tonight. I think they're going to win. Who knows?
Oh, they're down 7-3 right now.
We know that Florida is coming off a loss to TCU, so they're going to have a lot to prove. I think Florida is a really quality ball club, but this game, last time I checked, it's at Cameron Indoor Stadium, is it not?
It is at Cameron Indoor.
And I don't see Duke giving up one to this Florida team right now there. I think Thomas Hall's a great player. I think that Boozer's even a better player. You got both those Boozer twins. You've got a lot of scoring that John Shire's got. Give me the Duke Blue Devils, and I'll take them by 5 points.
So, I just want to alert you, we're not going to have a differing opinion on this because the Blue Devils are going to steamroll the Florida Gators. I'm going to make the prediction now. I think this Florida team is decent, right?
Sure.
I think they're a good team, but I don't think that they're this elite team that they were last year. I think that the losses that they had meant way too big of losses.
Okay.
And the guard play that they have right now has just been rough.
I would agree with that.
This first near month of basketball. So give me the Blue Devils, and I will take the Blue Devils by 10.
All right. Okay. Next, we've got Louisville, one of the hottest teams in the nation right now, undefeated, at Arkansas.
Yeah, that game is at Bud Walton. But I think the Cardinals are a very, very solid squad. Michael Brown Jr. is a different beast. I believe. I mean, that Kentucky game, if you were like me and totally watched a legal stream of Louisville, Kentucky, because YouTube TV didn't have ESPN, shout out YouTube, then Michael Brown Jr. is a different beast, especially in these big games.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they go into Bud Walton and beat this Arkansas team by give me a 7.
Oh yeah. Well, I got Louisville as one of the best teams in the nation right now. I truly believe that they are a good squad. I will say Bud Walton is not the easiest place to go in and get a victory at. I went back and forth on this one. I thought about taking the Hogs, but I think you're right. I think the difference in the game is Michael Brown Jr. Give me Louisville and give it to me by 2 points.
Okay. So then our last game in Auburn, Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
It is the NC State Wolfpack reeling a little bit from this kind of no-show at Maui. I mean, when you are nearly probably the favorite to win the Maui tournament, and you go out in your first game and kind of, I wouldn't say lay a stinker, but lose to Seton Hall, who, I mean, there's a few people that are high on them, of course, but not everyone's high on the Seton Hall team this year. I think it does something to you. And Auburn, who's coming off of a players era, an all right players era. I think the Tigers take this one by give me the Tigers by 2.
Okay. So you think it's going to be a close ball game?
I think it's going to be a close one still, but I think that the big difference is that Auburn is coming off of a better loss than NC State, or a better week than NC State is. So
I would agree with that.
Better mentality coming in.
I agree for the most part. The only thing I don't agree with is how close it's going to be. Give me Auburn by double digits.
Ooh.
I think that they're going to have a bounce back. I still think, even though that I believe with Bruce Pearl gone and his son taking over, that there's a little bit of, I don't believe he's going to be quite the coach Papa was right off the rip. I still think there's enough talent on this Auburn team. You're right. NC State's reeling a little bit, I feel like. Give me Auburn by 11.
I like that. Okay. All right. And now it's time to get into our final segment of the night, our top 10s. I'm trying to think, who went first last week on top 10? You did?
Mm-hmm.
All right, well.
I believe I did. No, wait.
No, I think I went first.
No, you did.
Yeah,
You're correct. You're correct.
You go first. Let's hear out your top 10.
All right. So I'm going to hit you with my honorable mentions right off the top. These guys were actually my number 17 last week. Just because they didn't really do much since. They played kind of a cupcake game and some things have happened. I've got UConn as one of my honorable mentions. Like I said, I also think they're going to take a loss to Illinois tomorrow. Really good team, but honorable mention. Alabama, who had a players error where they got beat by Gonzaga, but they looked pretty good otherwise. They were my number 6 team last week. I've got them in the honorable mentions. Also, in my honorable mentions this week, I have Kansas, who I think is really probably the best Bill Self team of the last few years. I got the Tennessee Volunteers, who I'm going to be honest with you, Charlie, would have been in my top 10 if they wouldn't have squandered and lost today. They beat Houston, but then they turn around and lose today.
Yeah.
That kind of kept me away from them, but I still think they're a really good squad. And my last honorable mention is BYU. I know a lot of people would probably have them in their top 10. I've got to see them play better quality opponents.
I can see where you're coming from with that.
Okay.
So get into. Do you want me to go with my honorable mentions and then we kind of ricochet back?
Yeah, we can do that.
Let's do that. All right. So my honorable mentions.
It's Thanksgiving. Anything.
Let's give the gift to top 10.
All right.
So my honorable mentions. I have Tennessee. I can tell you, I was not on my phone from 1:30 to about 3:30. So I did not see that Tennessee lost until you told me about an hour ago, and I went, oh, good Lord, I have to change both my whole top 10 around.
I know.
So Tennessee's an honorable mention. Then I got UNC. I think even though they lost to Michigan State, that is a pretty decent loss for your first team to lose to. And it's a neutral site. So Who knows?
No doubt.
Then number 3, Alabama. I think that loss to Gonzaga brought them down from, I believe they were my number 9 last week. It's just, when you lose a game like that to Gonzaga, and then, I don't want to play the transitive property game, but Gonzaga gets beat by 40.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to say, well, you're going to stay in my top 10. Iowa State is another honorable mention. They got a good team up there in Ames. It's just Big 12 play comes in. Who knows what happens there? I mean, a couple of years ago, Houston was undefeated in conference play, their first season in conference, and then Iowa State dominated them in the Big 12 title game.
That's true.
I mean, 70-40 was the score at one point. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it was a shellacking.
And then my other one is UConn. I think you have UConn in there too.
Yeah,
UConn is a very solid team, but like you said, besides their game last week, it's been nothing but kind of just cookie cutter cupcake.
Yeah. They got one W. I can't remember who it was over, but it was nobody serious. So.
But I mean, let's see tomorrow.
Okay.
MSG. That's a big place. It's sort of a UConn home game.
Yeah, it will be. I guarantee you there'll be a lot of Husky fans in the Mecca basketball.
I believe they call it Storage South.
Yeah.
Which is kind of wild to call MSG Storage South when you don't even play your team.
I'm sure the St. John's is not like that.
Oh no, they don't. Okay.
All right. So on to my number 10 this week is the team you mentioned from Ames, Iowa. I've got the Iowa State Cyclones. They're undefeated. They've had a good week. Like I said, they can light the scoreboard up when the baskets are falling. They play good defense. I've got the Cyclones as my number 10.
My number 10. I just mentioned them in my honorable mentions. I have the Gonzaga Bulldogs there. I think the Zags are still a very solid team. It's just when you lose by 40, you got to kind of go down the list. I don't care who you lose to. You could lose to the 73-9 Warriors by 40, but you're still going to go down to my top 10 no matter what. I don't care your other wins.
Sure.
So that's the reason they're my number 10. A great players there besides that big blemish on the record.
Yeah. At number 9, Charlie, I've got Illinois. Same spot they were at last week in my poll. We'll see what happens tomorrow against UConn. If they pull that victory, I expect to see them go up higher. Right now, number 9 is where I'm going to keep them at, but I do think they're a dangerous team.
Illinois is not on my list at all.
Oh, really?
I will tell you that. This is the biggest difference we have right here, I'm sure. I have BYU at number 9. I think BYU, I mean, you have the guy in my eyes, AJ Divansa, over there. You have the belief that you have something here. I believe you do. I don't believe that it's a stop your worship on the first weekend of April type belief, but I think it's a belief that come playoff or come tournament time, it's seriously open for BYU to make a run. I mean, they were a solid squad last year, and now they've added Divansa, I believe he was the number 1 coming into the year, the number 1 recruit.
Yeah, he was.
So, I mean, you have the guy on your team using that logic. So,
all right, at number 8, I've got the Zags, and I've actually got them going up 2 spots despite losing by 40. The Alabama victory to me said a lot. Who else did they end up beating? Didn't they take Baylor out, I believe?
I believe they took out.
And who was also a quality squad. Yes, it hurts to lose.
Oh, no, they took Maryland.
That's right. That's correct. It hurts to lose by 40, but I still think that he's got a great team up there, talking about Mark Few. I've got the Zags at number 8.
My number 8, Alabama. Wait, why is Alabama here twice? Alabama. Okay, I did the same mistake.
Oh, man.
But you know what? We'll put Illinois at number 8.
Okay.
That's the team I forgot. So the Fighting Illini.
All right.
Yes, they play UConn tomorrow. Kind of have to waffle this because I didn't prepare a speech. I just realized I have Alabama on here. I did I did the Louisville mistake last week.
Thanksgiving episode. It's okay. At number 7, I've got my biggest move. They were an honorable mention for me last week. I've got Tom Izzo and the Spartans of Michigan State. That win over North Carolina holds a lot of weight with me. So does that Kentucky victory. I really think that I'm starting to buy in on what Coach Izzo's got going on over there. Give me the Spartans at number 7 on my list this week.
My number 7, the Kansas Jayhawks.
Wow.
As much as I pain to say, the Jayhawks are my number 7 team in the nation, but they're a solid team. It's just how much do I weigh their losses when they don't have their best player?
I agree.
There, it's really hard for me to just fair shake say, oh yeah, Kansas is honorable mention because let's just say Peterson's here. They probably win some of these games.
I think you've got a good point. I just told you, I think that they're one of the best teams in the Big 12. I think this is Bill Self's best team in the last couple of years. We'll see. Peterson's going to make a lot of difference coming up, and they've got a tough schedule coming. So I totally respect that. I really do. At number 6 this week, falling from number 2 for me, I've got Kelvin Sampson in Houston. I did not want them to fall any further, but I cannot, just the Tennessee loss, I totally understand. It was the Syracuse game you were talking about. They got to figure it out offensively. They get big stops. They're able to produce leads. But then they kind of, I don't know, they kind of coast and they have trouble scoring. I think they went, I want to say, almost 3 minutes against Tennessee without a basket in the second half.
That's just rough.
You can't do that. I still think they're a really good squad. I think they're right up there with the best of the Big 12 with Arizona. But give me Houston at number 6.
I like that number 6. I mean, Houston is a team that's in my rankings. You'll hear about them in a few minutes. But they're a weird one because one day it looks like they're the best team in the nation, and the next day they're having to hit a game tying shot in the last 10 seconds to Syracuse.
Yeah.
Of all teams.
Yeah. Their wins and losses have both been close.
So my number 6, it's old Sparty. It's just been a very, very solid year for the Spartans so far. I mean, last week, MSG, they shoot the lights out. Today, UNC, they start off slow against the UNC team that people have had question marks about, right? They're on my honorable mentions, but then they come back, they win this game by, I'm pretty sure, a margin of 13-ish around that area. I mean, this is a team that could score with the best, but then also knows when to make a defensive stop. And that's something that an Izzo team really hasn't had since they were making those national title runs a few, like 10 years ago almost at this point.
Yeah.
So I think they're just the ultimate team right now. I think they have the weapons, but they just can't. They're kind of in the shadow of a bunch of teams.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun to see them match up against Michigan and some of these other teams in the Big Ten. So at number 5, we talked about them, Brown Jr. At Louisville. I think that they're undefeated. They have a big win over Kentucky. The eye test, they pass it perfectly. Give me Louisville at 5.
That's fair. Okay, my number 5, I have the Houston Cougars right there. I think that Sampson's team is a very, very solid squad. Chris Senac Jr. is there. He's a great guy. It's just when, like you said, when the weapons aren't firing off, they can look kind of rough. I mean, when you're playing a team like a Tennessee, you need to constantly score because Tennessee, a Rick Barnes team, if you've watched the past few years, a Dalton Connect, a Zakai Ziegler led team, they know how to score. They can score just the way that they want to, but it's just you have to be able to score with them or be able to stop them.
Yeah.
In any way. And that was the big glaring issue of them at the Players era. They didn't know when to stop teams and when to continue to be the normal Houston team.
All right, coming in at number 4 for me, no changes from last week. I've got the Duke Blue Devils. They're currently up 3 on Arkansas right now. We'll see how this ends up shaking out tonight. They've got this big game with Florida this week. It's going to really prove, how good that Duke is. But, man, they're the Blue Devils. They're not my squad by any means, but John Shire's a great coach. You've got those Boozer twins. You've got a ton of talent there. And what's crazy about it is, Charlie, like I believe their whole starting five from last year is in the NBA right now.
Yeah, but I'm
know,
thinking you have Con
Yeah.
Campbell, who's right now the Rookie of the Year favorite.
Oh, for sure.
You have Cooper Flag. Obviously, you have Kaman Malawach
Yep.
over in Phoenix. I'm trying to think, who are the other two on their starting five?
It's I've ate all this turkey today, so it's not. But
the gravy is starting to get to your brain.
Well, regardless of that, I think Duke's going to be a really tough team coming down the stretch. So I got them at 4, same as last week.
Surprise, surprise! I have them also at number 4. So, like everything you said, the Blue Devils are. I mean, they have the name, so they have that value to push talent to Duke. I mean,
absolutely.
Would you rather go to Duke or would you go to a team like an Arizona State if they're offering you? Like where would you go? It's like that.
No question.
But with Duke, there's still a couple questions I have with them. Like their size. Just first of all, they are big, but then whenever they use these small ball lineups, can they still defend? Is my big question. That's something I could see in this Arkansas game. Arkansas's got some big boys over there.
They do.
And you know how Coach Cal likes big men. I mean,
they do.
But yeah. So who knows? Who knows?
All right, at number 3 this week, I thought about even going even higher, but I couldn't do it. I've got the Michigan Wolverines. I had them at 5 last week. And I think a lot of people were probably like, why does he have Michigan so high? I think they proved that. What they did to the players there was fantastic. We'll see if they can keep doing it as Big Ten conference play fires up. But right now, give me Coach May and the Michigan Wolverines at 3.
You're kidding me.
Because
I have Michigan number 3 too.
Oh, Lord.
The Wolverines are just, I mean, right now, they're the hottest team in America.
Sure.
They are the team to beat. I wouldn't be surprised if they're getting first place votes when the AP comes out next week. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they are the number 1 team. Next week, because they are just a very elite squad over there. Like we said, Yaxel Lindenborg finally has that spotlight. He has the team, even though he's hated in this area of Tennessee.
He is.
It's still, I mean, he's a very, very solid player.
Yeah.
There in Michigan.
And they've got a great support cast as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
Dusty May is just the best coach you could have in this situation, it feels like.
I think so, too.
I mean, right now, you got to put him in the top 3, top 5 of coaches.
Yeah, and a lot of people, really didn't know how that move was going to work going from FAU. It's looking like in year 2 that it's a hell of a hire.
Yeah, because last year they were making noise in the Big Ten tournament. They've made the tournament. I think they were an at-large. I don't think they won the conference.
No, they were in a play-in game, if I can remember correct, last year, I believe.
Wisconsin, I'm pretty sure, won the conference with Chucky Brown Jr.
You're correct.
Yeah.
All right. So, at number 2, I've got Purdue. Same as last week. They handled business against my Memphis Tigers. They end up, winning in the Bahamas. They absolutely demolished Texas Tech. They are a really good squad. You've got Fletcher Lawler. You've got talent after talent on that team. They do everything well. They're nasty inside, as we saw. And I just couldn't switch it up. I really thought about putting Michigan above them, but they handled their business until, something changes. Give me the Boilermakers at 2.
Number 2, I have Purdue.
Yeah.
Braden Smith, Wooden Award nominee. Let's just put him in the short list right now.
Absolutely.
I mean, because he's going to be in there. It's just, can Purdue perform in the last little bit? I mean, they proved it against Memphis. They can. But they still had those rough moments where Memphis kind of crawled back in. And then, like you said last week, when Aaron Bradshaw got out, it was like the biggest gut punch a team could have, because it felt like the wind got knocked out of their sails in that those last 5 minutes or so against Purdue.
Well, it's going to be interesting, like you said, in conference play to see Purdue against teams like Michigan and Michigan State. But until somebody knocks them off, I got them at 2. All right, so last but not least, I mean, nothing changes for me. I've got Arizona Wildcats. It's the number 1 team in the nation for me. Until I see, like I said, somebody go and beat them in a big ball game, I can't unsee what I saw. Pete is incredible. They've got a great coach. there's no reason for me to take them off the top spot.
And that I could just repeat the exact same thing because I have them at number 1 as well. Koa Pete is legit. I wish that they would have played a Feast Week tournament.
Yeah, me too.
I think that it's kind of Mickey Mouse that they didn't. I understand you want the rest and all that, especially after you've played, to me, the most impressive resume so far.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, before Feast Week.
Sure.
I mean,
for sure.
You win stores. You played UConn. You played Florida for your first game of the year. You played Florida.
Absolutely.
So you have two very, very good games to start off with, or teams to play. But still, we got to wait for conference play. You got to wait for this last little bit of non-con because they just didn't play this week.
Yeah, I agree with you. It'd have been fun to see them out on the court, but like you said, you can't knock them. I mean, they've already played the defending champs, and they played the defending champs from before.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's kind of a smart move. I want to see how they get in Big 12 play. I can't wait to see them play the likes of Kansas. I can't wait to see them play the likes of Houston.
Yeah, I mean, that Houston game is going to be really fun.
Man,
can they stop Koa Pete?
It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun.
So, do we want to talk about what the rest of the week looks like for us before we go off the air here? Do we want to plug anything?
Well, it's Thanksgiving, so
yeah.
I me personally, I want to give thanks to just my whole life to be able to do this with you, to be able to sit and talk sports, and this is incredible. And I don't know if you guys know this, but me and Charlie will actually be in Hayti Saturday. We'll be covering the Hayti Indians state semifinal ball game as they take on the Putnam County Midgets.
Yeah!
Yes, I did say midgets. Apparently, it's okay to say it when it comes to these guys. It's just a thrill, Charlie.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to get too emotional here, but you've always been just the best kid that a guy could ever ask for. And to be able to call a state semifinal game back home with you is it's enough for me to give thanks for, man. So the old man doesn't have anything else to say besides Happy Thanksgiving. I love you, buddy.
Yeah, like you said, Saturday on Misha TV. We're going to be on pay-per-view. So buy it. Look at me. I'm looking at you dead in the camera.
He's looking at you.
I'm looking at you, people in Hayti, Crothersville. I'm sure there's someone in Tucson that's watching this right now. I'm looking at you. Buy the stream. I want you to buy the stream. Like Uncle Sam, I want you.
And I'm going to say this, man. I've had a personal relationship with Coach Robinson for a while. Coach Gilmer, they were, of course, the guys that got you into football. I could not be happier to see them in the position they were in. We called a game a few weeks ago, and both of us thought that this could be the reality. If you are in Hayti, get your butts out Saturday. Get to the TP.
Say it like a man.
Get to the damn TP.
Get your ass out there.
And support these kids, because I'm going to tell you, they are quality kids. Aside from what they do on the field, I saw them at the food drive the other day. I mean, these are guys your age. We've known a lot of these kids for a long time, and they are good, solid kids that have worked their tails off. So, Hayti, get your ass to the TP. I want to see you guys there. Go Indians. Let's see you win another state title.
So, with that, that's our last little bit of talking. So, thank you all for watching or liking, just doing anything, interacting with us here on our second episode of Duck Duck Hoops. We'll see you on Hayti and see you tomorrow yelling about Ole Miss football.
Oh, yeah, man. We may lose a coach, but we better not lose to state. Hotty damn toddy. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody out there. We'll see you Saturday in Hayti, and we'll see you right back here on Thursday night with Duck Duck